Goodbye, Payday 2. In some ways, it feels weird to say that considering I said the exact same thing nearly 5 years ago, and yeah, here we are again. But Payday 2 is a game that forever changed my life, and I know I'm not the only person who can say that. The difference this time around, though, is that Payday 3 is finally almost upon us. Early access begins tomorrow, so now it really does feel like this is the end for Payday 2. Some of us have been playing this game for a decade now, have made amazing memories, met great friends, and have strong feelings for this game and everything that it brought along with it. Payday 2 is the reason my entire Xbox friend group exists, after meeting one of my friends in a Watch Dogs heist not long after I bought the Crime Wave edition on Xbox. And it's quite poetic because just over a month ago, I finally went out to Ireland and met some of the group for the first time in our 8-year friendship. The fact that a video game can lead to something like that is genuinely insane to me. Games that can create memories like that are so few and far between, and that very personal impact is just the start for me. As a content creator, Payday 2 has given me a whole host of opportunities that I never deemed possible when I started YouTube 9 years ago, from making news videos that people actually cared about, to interviewing actors and everything in between. I think I'll always be most proud though of my Payday trailer edits where I chop live action footage up and edit it in the style of a blockbuster movie like Avengers Endgame, The Rise of Skywalker or The Suicide Squad. I'll leave a link to that playlist in the description and on the screen if you want to go and watch those videos because they are my personal passion projects for Payday 2 and something that I will always look on very fondly. But the point is, Payday 2 has quite literally shaped my life, not only as a YouTuber, but as a person. I never imagined I'd be able to fly out to another country to meet the developers of a game that I'd held so dearly, only to find out that so many staff members knew who I was and had watched my videos. All of that is thanks to the love and support that you all as an audience have shown me, and I can't say any of that without giving a special shout out to the console players who've now endured 4 years without an update on the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 versions of the game. As someone who plays about 90% of my games on an Xbox Series X now, it guts me to see console go the way that it did, and despite what some people believe, I genuinely wish I could have stayed on console forever. The only reason I moved to PC was to keep up to date with Payday content, since it was my only option. But now Payday 3 will be balanced across all platforms, and back where I belong, playing on my super-powered mini-fridge, so I will be console gaming from here on out with Payday. Without the love I received on all those console videos, scrolling through forums for posts from Overkill Goris, and making all those wish lists for console content, I quite literally wouldn't be here making this video. So to everyone who has ever supported even a drop of my Payday content, thank you. Seriously, I cannot stress that enough. But enough about me. Today's video is a celebration of Payday 2 and what it means as a game. And what I want to do is focus on several of the key things that I think made this game so special as we reflect on 10 years of Payday 2 and look to the future for Payday 3. And I'd love it if all of you watching this video could drop a comment down below to let me know what your favourite thing about Payday 2 is. Whether it be a particular heist, a particular character, a particular gameplay experience, or a certain memory you formed as a result of playing the game, let me know everything down below. I really do want to know what made Payday 2 special to you because it's certainly very special to me. But let's get down into the nitty-gritty of some of the things that I think are most special about Payday 2 as we look back on 10 years of heisting and get ready to wrap up this era and prepare for the next one. And since this is what I plan to be my final ever Payday 2 video, I'm going to go back on what I said. Let's bring back something that you all love one more time. If a heisting game doesn't have good heists, then it's failed at the first hurdle, and while getting Payday 2 players to agree on the best and worst heists of the game is kind of like getting Star Wars fans to discuss the best Star Wars movie, Revenge of the Sith by the way, one thing Payday 2 did succeed in was providing a huge range of heists to play. From bank heists and jewelry stores to casinos and cocaine workshops and a whole heap of things in between, you're guaranteed to get a whole host of different experiences playing this game for even just a few hours, not least of all because the heists are also replayable and the experience can easily be different just between two playthroughs, whether it be down to the enemy interactions, the loadouts you pick, the skill system you use, or just general objective changes in the game via RNG. And sure, like I said, getting players to agree on the best and worst heist would be challenging, but some heists really do prove to be an exception to that rule. The Big Bank is commonly regarded as one of the best heists of the game, and heists such as the Golden Ring Casino and Hoxton Breakout often find themselves high in tier lists as well. The variation in heist design, loot available, and general gameplay experience is what makes Payday 2 so special, and it's why the first main chapter of this video is focused on the heists. I do, however, think it's fair to say that the quantity of heists also plays an important part in this argument, because I first picked up Payday 2 in 2014, and I only played it for a few days because I just didn't think there was enough heists in the game to hook me in and keep me playing. It was only when the Crime Wave edition released in 2015 for Xbox One that there was enough to hook me in, and at that point, I basically never stopped playing regardless of the platform I was on. So yes, while I am a little concerned about Payday 3 only launching with 8 heists, especially considering one of which we've all played to death via 2 betas now, if they do happen to have the variety and the replayability that some of Payday 2's best heists have across the board, I genuinely think we'll be fine. The level design in Payday 2 is something that really made it stand out as a video game, and I'm really excited to see that concept refined and executed across all the heists of Payday 3. Something else that I really love about Payday 2 personally is the wide array of characters available to play as in the game. While it started off with just 4 goofy guys robbing banks and getting paid, now we have more than 20 characters to choose from. And even if it annoys a couple of choice commenters like it did in my Pearl and Joy reveal video, a big win for me personally is the amount of diversity on offer in the characters you play as, because they vary in age, gender, nationality, and personality, and as a result give every player a wide choice to who they want to play as to reflect their own personality, or just people that they find entertaining to play as. One of my personal favourite things has been seeing the wider community draw fan art, post cosplays, and just generally share their love for all of their favourite characters. And yes, of course, while I've spent the last 2 or 3 years playing as Peter Capaldi in Payday 2 via the greatest mod I will ever install for a video game,
then you get in your car and you just fucking drive about for go and do some sightseeing, you know, or attach a hosepipe to the exhaust, whatever.
there are a whole range of characters that I do really adore. Whether it's the unapologetically brutal British nature of Hoxton, the goofy yet scarily intimidating presence of Chains, the punk rock nerdy vibe of Sydney, or the all-out insanity that you see in Jimmy, Payday 2 really does have a character for everyone. And that is truly beautiful. Of course, not every character has the same amount of love, and some are deserving of a lot more attention, and some less so, but it's safe to say that every character has their enjoyers out there, and I think that's something really special about this game in particular. I'm so glad that Payday 3 is already going to hit the ground running with this concept, offering up to 6 different characters at launch, and the promise of plenty more to come post-launch as well. Having a wide array of characters to choose from in your gang has always been something I've loved about Payday 2, and I truly cannot wait to see who else joins the gang as their adventures proceed into New York City. In theory, video games can offer you pretty much anything. They can give you an open world, they can give you hundreds of guns, they can offer you
16 times the detail.
But one thing that's harder to quantify is fun. Is the game actually enjoyable? Can it stand the test of time? Can it keep bringing people back? And if so, how does it manage to do that? Obviously, the first part of that question does not need answering for Payday 2, because we're here 10 years later still talking about it, but the second part of the question is what really matters to me. And I think Payday 2's gameplay loop is what makes it so special. While it's clear to everyone that Payday the Heist and Payday 2 wear their Left 4 Dead based influences on their sleeve, Payday 2 in particular managed to adapt that horde shooter formula into an addictive, fast-paced and energetic cop horde shooter where you're constantly fighting back waves of police officers while robbing banks and getting paid. The wide array of enemies you can face, including the shields, bulldozers and cloakers, provide a varied and thrilling experience while you fight through the heists in a haze of bullets as a blood-pumping soundtrack blasts in the background. But don't worry, we'll get to that shortly. But of course, you don't actually have to take on the entire Washington PD in your game, as stealth became a fully fledged option in the majority of heists available in Payday 2. The stealth system may have aged a little bit around the edges over the last 10 years, especially now we've played Payday 3 stealth in the beta, but it offers the ability to carry out the perfect heist without ever sounding the alarm. And I will always have very dear memories of beating heists like Shadow Raid in complete stealth without even killing anyone at times. Being able to complete heists silently was a brilliant addition, and it really gave players that added flexibility to play in their own way, incorporating the millions of possible combinations of skills that the game offered to give each player their own unique playstyle to use in each heist. That gameplay loop, be it in loud or stealth, was insanely addictive, and it is certainly what kept me playing for all these years, and I know that's how a lot of people feel too. Payday 2 has a lot of important pieces that contribute to making the game what it is today, and I've already discussed some of them in this video essay, but perhaps the most important piece that you don't think about immediately is the soundtrack. Whether you're a fan of Simon Vickland's work in Payday the Heist and the earlier years of Payday 2, or if you've got a soft spot like me for the work of Gustavo Cucimio in Payday 2's revival era, it's safe to say that the Payday 2 soundtrack has an array of phenomenal tracks that players will never stop rocking their heads to while completing their favourite bank heists. It's possible I'm forgetting something, but I genuinely cannot name a bad Payday track off the top of my head. Every song on that soundtrack will either make you tap your foot along, slam your hand on your desk, or make you hum along with the tune as you plough through hordes of cops, or, as I've said, try and complete a heist without even alerting them. It's the kind of music that gets you pumped and focused, and it could easily be played in a whole range of non-Payday circumstances just to get you in the zone with your day-to-day life, especially now that Spotify's seen several collections of Payday tracks finally added in the last couple of months. But to me personally, the best Payday tracks are easily the ones with lyrics. A Payday song with lyrics is always a special occasion, and when you get songs like Drifting or This Is Our Time, you're often singing it for weeks on end because you just can't get it out of your head. And I can't even begin to count the number of times I've started singing Today is Payday 2 randomly, most of which not even being close to Christmas. That's just the power of Payday tracks. But with that being said, I have to give a special shout out to 2 songs in particular, Break the Rules and On the Road. Both of those songs are pinnacles for their respective composers, combining the action and excitement of your average Payday track with lyrics that have you quite literally screaming along at the top of your voice while you feel every ounce of that emotion securing that final bag of cash at 2:30 in the morning. I am so eternally thankful to both Simon and Gustavo for their time on Payday 2, and it's really good to know that Payday 3 is in such safe hands, with Gustavo continuing to serve as the resident composer. Without the music being as good as it is, Payday just wouldn't be Payday. It's a fact, and knowing that we've got good music guaranteed for the future of the game is a huge advantage for the future of this franchise. Is live-action content something exclusive to Payday? Absolutely not. Call of Duty used to famously have live-action trailers every year to promote their titles until 2016's Infinite Warfare, and more recently Mortal Kombat 1 released a live-action trailer boasting Dave Bautista to promote the game's launch. What you can say about Payday though, is that no other game managed to incorporate live-action elements quite so seamlessly into the wider myth and ethos of the franchise. While the 2013 web series was a little bit disjointed and didn't entirely make sense at times with its self-referencing to overkill and characters that barely appeared again, if at all.
You got too close to the truth, and they will not let you leave if you get any closer, you understand?
They? Who's they? PrimeNet? Overkill?
The seed was planted, and the excellent performances of key cast members proved to Starbreeze the live-action component was going to be an important piece of the game going forward. Jump to present day, and we've now seen Giancarlo Esposito eating up scenery as the intimidating dentist, we've seen Sharlto Copley bring his Hardcore Henry character to life in the Payday canon, and even longtime fan favourite character Locke being brought into the flesh, played by his voice actor Ian Russell, playing golf in the sun in military fatigues. The live-action components have become so important to the audience, in fact, that we now have a TV series or movie on the way from Starbreeze Entertainment in conjunction with Stockholm Syndrome, and we've already seen a live-action short film for Payday 3 separate to that called Follow the Money. Live-action content has become a chamber of the heart that is Payday, and it all started with Payday 2's web series. It'll forever be one of the best things this game gave us, and I really hope that we see a lot more live-action content going forward, both in that developing adaptation that we know about, and also hopefully in direct promotion of Payday 3 too. The voice of Change, Damien Poitier, once told me that because Starbreeze had seen so much love for the live-action trailers, they kept upping the budget, upping the dedication to make them even better for the audience, and it really showed, and it's a tradition I really want to see continue in Payday 3, because to me, it's something that Payday 2 did that no other video game has ever pulled off, and in some ways, I don't think any other game will manage to pull it off in the future. It really is something special to the Payday franchise. And that was just a handful of things that I absolutely loved about Payday 2. I barely had time to even touch on the modding community, who are absolutely amazing, the constant updates Payday got, even if it wasn't consistent across all platforms, and often developers that actually listened to and responded to user feedback. There are a whole host of special memories and special components that truly make this game special, but I think it's important to end this video with some very important thank yous. First off, thank you to the team at Overkill Software and Starbreeze Entertainment for crafting such an amazing game and evolving it so much over the span of the decade. Thank you to the actors who breathe life into every heister, contractor, and wider character in the universe. Thank you to Simon Vickland, Gustavo Cuchimio, and everyone else in the sound team for crafting an incomparable soundtrack. And more personally, thank you to all of you. The people who make Payday 2 the game it was by playing it, the people who gave me a platform just for talking about it. Thank you to everyone who's ever been a heister, past or present, and thank you for watching this video today. It's about to be the day we've all waited for, but until that day comes, let's give Payday 2 one heck of a send-off. Thank you very much for watching this video, and as always, keep those helmets flying.